If you could collab with anyone on YouTube, who would it be?
Oh, who would it be? I don't know. I've already done that.
Yeah, we're collabing right now.
We're collabing right now. You know what's up? Maybe like Shane Dawson again. I don't know.
You know what's cool, and a lot of people don't know this, but like when you collabed with Shane, like right as your channel started.
Yeah, because he wanted me to be in a conspiracy theory video, and he kindly, before I even had 1 million followers or subscribers, they call them. Wow. He was very kind, and he was like, "I saw that you have a YouTube channel. If you want to do a collab for yours as well, I'm super open to doing it."
They were huge Riverdale fans too, right?
It was just really cool. Ryland is so lovely. Shane is so lovely. I was really impressed with I didn't expect him to want to do a collab on my channel. I was like, oh my God, like you don't have to do that if you want to just do one on yours. And he's like, no, let's just make for yours. And it was very sweet. But who was I talking about that should have been in YouTube Rewind? That I was like, those people should have been in. Shane, PewDiePie. But there was one other person I was talking about that I feel like I was talking about.
Hold on. I know we just watched it yesterday.
I know.
David
Dobrik wasn't in there.
No, and David should have been in there.
I would collab with David. Liza. I would love to collab with Liza Koshy.
Well, yeah, and we
I met her for the first time at Emo Night.
Yeah.
But I felt like I already knew her.
No, because she's really
one of those
nice
people. She's just so kind.
And having David on the podcast was super cool for me.
Yeah, he was on it before me.
You bitter?
Not at all.
Jealous?
But, I wasn't even the first one.
Are you jealous? Well, look, it was like the first one happened by mistake. I mean, not mistake,
I
but by
totally
chance.
support Gary being your first. I think that.
You think what?
Gary was your first.
Gary
love.
was my first.
Well, you've just before you ever connected with him, he was somebody that you loved reading his books and you looked up to him a lot. It's kind of like your other Joe Rogan, I feel like. And so him being your first guest was, I think, an incredible first guest. And he's also a much better interview than I am. Let's be real.
No, not at all. I can't put
disagree.
my feet up. I can't put my feet up on Gary.
I think that would not go as well.
No, it
with Gary
wouldn't. I mean, you still went you poo-pooed it. You were like,
poo-pooed it.
Yeah,
well, if you had brand new shoes on, maybe. But you know what really irks me? When you put your white shoes all over each other in the podcast.
When I'm like this.
Yeah, you're not. See, by the way, you're not doing it when I'm here. Do you notice that? Guys, you notice that?
No, it's because they're not white. That's why.
No, it's because I'm here and you're comfortable with me.
You know what I like?
What? That you can do whatever you want?
I can do whatever I want.
It's your podcast.
It's my podcast.
You make the rules, baby.
Would you ever start a podcast?
No.
We've talked about
I don't have our own where we're going to call it Date Night with Traveling.
We're going to call it Date Night with Traveling.
But then at the same time, it's and it's cute and I like that idea because I love Jenna Marbles and Julian. Oh, I'd love to collab with Jenna. But anyways, they have such a great podcast. They've got such a great relationship and they don't overshare their relationship. At the same time, their podcast is about other things and news. My fear would be that I overshare if we had a podcast together. And also, I already have so much of my life.
What would you overshare?
Not overshare details, but more overshare our vibe. I feel like we already have enough of us on the internet. And I feel like there are parts of our relationship that I like are private. And I feel like the reason why I wouldn't want a podcast is people.
When I play guitar naked?
Don't talk about that. Oh my God. But yeah. But you know what I mean? It's there's so few things in this world that I keep there's a lot of things I keep private, but I have a YouTube channel. I'm very open and honest on all my platforms with my fans, and it's a great relationship. But having a podcast feels like I don't have. You know what? I'm insecure that I don't have enough to say. That's really what it is. To be honest, it's that I don't feel like I would have an hour of me talking is not good for anybody.
I think it's cool because
I insert my foot in my mouth 3 times a day.
I can agree to that.
Yeah. So why the hell would I put myself in that position for a podcast where you can't even cut it? There's 3 times in this I've been oh, I shouldn't have said that. What?
Go back and listen to find out where those spots are. I'll put cards on there.
Little moments where I was shouldn't have shared that.
No, I think it's cool. One thing that this podcast has really given me is
a platform.
No.
To speak.
Are you my publicist now? This platform is just really enriching the lives of. No, it's the messages, and it's I think here's one thing.
Yeah, talk about those messages you get on Instagram.
Look, I'm 20. I'm 29. I've been making music. My whole life, but really a song got popular when I was 20.
I'm with my Vans on.
No. Before that.
Whoops.
But almost it was 8 years ago, and I had severe anxiety and I didn't talk about it. I had crazy panic attacks. You know this because you're my right hand when all this shit goes down. I'm also your
therapist.
You're my therapist when this shit goes down. And it was debilitating for me. I didn't drive for a year.
Yeah.
Shout out Panda. He drove my car. When I was getting my record deal, I'd run out of meetings and I'd be in studios and call 911 because I thought I was having a heart attack.
First big studio session you did.
Yeah. I didn't talk about that shit then because it was very taboo.
Where would you have?
Exactly.
Like what, on your Instagram? Like
But
it
I
just
feel like-
didn't feel like there was like a natural integration for that.
Exactly. And I feel like I was like almost like no one understood, like no one really knew what anxiety was like really like listening to it. Like I feel like, 10 years ago, or like it wasn't as talked about as it is now. And like for me, getting those messages about like, hey, like, you having a show called ADHD and having people on who are like, off the wall and like Gary, like talk really fast and like how, but like show people how to harness that energy, whether it be like anxiety or creative energy, and how to make something positive. And that's what I love about this, and having people like you on too, because you suffer from that as well.
Anxiety, yeah. Massive panic attacks, crazy anxiety. Yeah, I do. I don't want to talk about it often.
No, you don't. And I
Actually,
feel like,
at all. Like never. People probably don't even know that.
But that's something crazy because I feel like, when we started dating and I'd be like super anxious or like that was something like we could be there for each other for.
Right. And I didn't actually really acknowledge that it was anxiety I was suffering from until probably around when we were dating, and you kind of helped me figure that out, because I would have panic attacks, but I wouldn't realize they were panic attacks. Like I would not be able to breathe. I would feel like if something was sitting on my chest, I would be like freaking the fuck out, and I wouldn't be able to like register what it was. And my mom was very worried about me. And then when you and I talked about it, you're like, oh, that's a panic attack. Like you are suffering from anxiety. I finally felt like I understood it. And then I was able to maybe overcome it a little bit more. I still deal with it day to day. And I don't think that, like, I don't technically feel like I need to be medicated for it. Like it's something that I just kind of work through every day. And I have anxiety about stupid stuff. Like I think most of the time it's stupid. But I
think one thing that really helped is that app that we got, that breathing app.
Yeah, I use an app called Calm. You use Headspace.
Yeah, and it's just good like when I'm freaking out or something, because I'll get them at the weirdest times.
Well, for me, it's more like, anything big can go wrong and I'm fine, but one tiny small thing goes wrong and I'm like off the rocker.
Yeah.
I'm crazy and I'm like crying. Like I cry like probably 3 times a week about small things, and it's crazy because my life is amazing.
Were you like that in high school?
I was thinking about this morning, and I used to cry, and I didn't realize it was a manipulation thing, but I think I was doing it. I was really good about getting my grades up. So in
grades?
I would cry. I would like find a way to talk to a teacher to get my grade higher. That's why I had a 4.3 GPA.
That's why you're so good at negotiating.
Yeah. So I would have I remember in anatomy and physiology, I had an A-. And I went up to my teacher, and her husband also worked at my school. And I went to an arts high school, and then I went to like the sister school that was also a science and math institute. And my friends would always be like, oh, like, how do you have such a high GPA? And yeah, I would get like A's, A-. But when I had an A-, I would go talk to the teacher and see what I could do to get it up. But whenever I talk to somebody of authority, I typically start crying. So then I would get teary-eyed while I'm doing it, and they would see how I was so into it, and they'd be like, oh, well, if you just do this one extra credit thing, I think I can get you to an A, or, we can work together like after school or whatever it was. And I didn't realize at the time that I was really just like, how Cher in Clueless kind of negotiates to get better grades?
Yeah.
I kind of did that, but I didn't realize I was doing it at the time. And now
How
I
many
look back.
speeding tickets have you gotten out of?
I don't speed, as you know. I'm kind of a grandma when I drive, but I used to do a lot of California stops.
What's that? Oh, you just roll
where you
stop
roll
signs?
kind of through, like you go slow,
Smart.
but you don't stop. I used to do a lot of those, and every time that I get pulled over, authority, cry, and then get out. So I've only gotten one ticket ever, and that was because I was with my mom in the car, and I was like, I can't pull the cry card with my mom in the car.
Because your mom would just look at you and be like, total bull.
Nah, my mom more just like, she would start like, oh, shame, darling, okay. And then, she would feel bad, and I don't want to put my mom through that. You're
so kind.
It's not intentional, though. I just cry about authority. Like, it's weird. When I'm like faced with authority, I cry. It's very strange. I don't get it.
So on the show, you just pretend Vanessa's
no, it's
a cop.
real. It's real. It's real. Like, I cry a lot in my personal life.
I feel like you're very in tune with your emotions.
Yeah, I don't hide. I can't hide emotions. Like, I'm very just like, if you see it, it's there.
I love that about you.
Do you? Because
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it drives you insane.
No, but I like knowing that, like, if something's wrong, I'll be able to tell. And
Yeah, I can't hide it. Even if I say nothing for 3 hours, like, there's something wrong.
That's just, oh my God.
Because I'm not ready to talk about it. I need to process. Like, you want space. I don't want space. I need to be right next to you, but I don't want to talk about it yet.
Now we're just all about our love languages on ADHD.
Yeah. Do you guys know about love languages? These are really important. If you're in a relationship, you should figure out what your partner's giving and receiving love languages are. You should look it up. It's really helpful.
I feel like we're pretty good.
Yeah. Well, Travis loves gift giving, and I love to receive gifts. So it works out perfectly. No, I'm just kidding. I'm time and words of affection is like what I give and what I receive.
Yeah.
You have difficulty with, you've gotten better with it, but I'm sorry, words of affirmation. You've gotten better with words of affirmation now that you know that I need that, but you're a gift in time person.
Yeah.
So you love to give and receive gifts, and you love to give time.
I like to surprise you.
You do.
And
you do.
I like to taunt you.
ADHD, or Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder.
Am I talking to you? Am I talking to